Thank you very much for joining today's session, my dear students. Uh, I think there's no need of introduction of our resource person, Miss Chamika Dahanayaka. She's a lecturer of University of Colombo, who has done a couple of sessions in CA Sri Lanka online classroom. So we can start the session now. Over to you, Miss Chamika.
Good evening, Augusta. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, and we can see your screen as well.
Okay, thanks a lot. Right. So, good evening, everyone. And again, welcome to the session on grammar for work life and study. So I think some of you have may have actually joined some of the programs I have done, as Augusta mentioned previously. So you actually know what I prefer to do in these sessions rather than keeping the session as like a one-way communication event. I really like all of you to participate actively in the program so that you benefit almost immediately, and also the fact that you will remember things for a long time, which is what we really need rather than taking notes. Grammar in that sense is really about using it, no? So if we just take notes after notes, I don't think that really helps us to achieve anything. So that having said that, what that means is that I would like all of you to participate actively. If you are multitasking, please don't multitask, right? Concentrate on today's session because I have a lot of fun activities prepared. Okay, so and I would like all of you to share answers. We will be doing a lot of activities, as I said, which are fun. So the class will be fun based on how interested you are in participating in it, right? So it's like a two-way communication event. You all will have to help me out with a lot of activities. And if you don't, the session will become just another grammar session, right? So since I have worked with CEA students for a very long time, I know your strengths and weaknesses. So I hope to kind of target some of those um, strengths and also the weaknesses, right? So let's kind of do a very interactive session where you learn something, where you share something, and where you kind of participate and carry away a good memory with you at the end of the session, right? So again, I'm just repeating, don't make this an event where you just log in and disappear, right? Sit there with pen and paper and let's do some activities and ask me any questions, right? If you have any issues, and I'm also going to, before the end of the session, I hope to share some additional resources with you. So if you have been grappling with grammar issues, maybe you can use these resources and you can maybe do some self-studying and improving for your exams and also for your work life, right? So I hope the request is clear, right? Request is to stay online and participate and ask questions and have fun in the session, right? So if just give me a second, everyone. um, Augusta, I'm unable to see what I'm sharing. I can see your screen. Augusta, are you there? Okay, let me try stop sharing and then I will see them. Okay, I think now it's all right. Okay, so everyone, I hope you can still see the PowerPoint slides because I had to cancel it. Can you still see it? Can someone let me know?
Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, so let's dive in. And as I said, we have a lot of interesting stuff happening today. And I would like to hear from you. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? So here are the session objectives, right? So we will just briefly talk about what is grammar. And I forgot to mention one thing at the beginning. I'm not feeling that well, so my voice is not that clear. So if it is getting, if I'm talking too fast or slow, just let me know, right? So let's come back to the session objectives. So first of all, we will talk a little bit about what is grammar, but not too deep, right? Just enough for you to understand what it is, right? Secondly, we will talk about the importance of good grammar. Again, not too much, because I believe CA students are very well aware of the importance of grammar. They know it's important, but throughout my experience with the students, I have I have seen a large number of people who are not really, even though they know about its importance, they are not really maybe interested in using it properly, or maybe they don't really put a lot of emphasis into grammar. Okay, so let's talk about that. And then I'm going to use some industry statistics to persuade you and to show you how the industry is affected by grammar. Okay, so that's something interesting because I don't think people see grammar from that perspective. Have you ever thought that businesses get affected by poor grammar? Right? How many of you have ever thought about it? Right? කවුද ඔයගලන්ගෙන් හිතුවේ grammar නිසා ව්‍යාපාරවලට businesses වලට බලපෑමක් ඇති වෙනවා කියලා හිතපු කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද? Right? So we will talk about that. Then also reasons for grammatical confusion. So that is important for all of you because I'm going to talk to you about the root cause and how to solve that problem, which is, I think, very important because usually we talk about the solution, but we don't really talk about the problem, right? So what happens is that sometimes you know there is a problem, but you focus too much on the solution, right? Without recognizing the full form of the problem, right? So in accounting, in management also, if your business is suffering, the very first thing is you will not jump into a solution and try to find a solution, right? What is the very first thing you do? The very first thing would be to analyze the problem properly. No, same applies to grammar and grammar problems, confusion, right? You need to analyze your problem, then only you should apply a range of solutions to it. So we will talk about those very clearly. We will talk about some of the very common areas that CA Sri Lanka students are every day struggling with. So these areas are to do, since I don't have like, since it's not possible to talk about grammar, all grammar in English in one session, I have cherry picked three very prominent areas where students do a lot of mistakes, right? So parts of speech, passive and active voice, disagreement between various grammatical elements, right? So these are some of the highlights of today's session. So at the end, right, you will realize whether you have learned something, whether you have enjoyed the session, right? So please make sure that you are not multitasking, that you are not just logged in, you are physically there listening to me doing the activities, and also where and when necessary, I want you to take notes, right? Because if I go to immediately jump to your exam performance, right? Because we are talking about grammar for both work life and studies, right? So when it comes to CS1, CS2, these sort of exams, one of the very common comments given by examiners, right, your teachers, is that most of the students now are not aware of the basic grammar rules, right? Not advanced grammar. They're talking about basic, the very, very basic level of grammar. So that's a very serious thing. It's like, being an adult and you're still learning in grade 1 and 2. Okay. So we should now kind of push ourselves upwards from that level, no? So if you're still unable to understand and use basic level English, I think when you start applying very complicated ideas, you are writing answers for the exam, it's going to create a lot of problems, not just for you, but for everyone around you, right? So that's why we are going to do a very um, uh, quick activity, right? Just to start off the session and to see whether chat is working for all of you. We are going to do a very quick, fun activity at the beginning itself, right? So everyone ready? So, right. I want all of you to look at the slide. I'm going to give you 2 minutes exactly, right? And I want you to make a wild guess about the meaning of these numbers. Okay, what do these numbers mean? Go to your chat function and I want you to at least guess the meaning of at least one of these numbers. What do these numbers mean? Right? Can you guess the meaning? 2 minutes to everyone. Your time starts now. Tell me at least one guess, and here's a little hint. All of these numbers are connected to either good grammar or bad grammar. How? Right? So 2 minutes. I want you to very quickly. It doesn't matter whether your guess is right or wrong. Okay. I just want to see whether y'all are paying attention and you can use the chat function and you are just thinking about the topic today. Okay. So 2 minutes to everyone. Go to your chat function and I would like you to send me your answers very quickly. Okay, very good. Tarindu has sent me an answer. What about all the other people? You can't escape from this activity. That's why I said don't join. If you are not interested in staying connected throughout the session, don't join. There's no point, right? No point in just joining and going somewhere else. I want all of you to be seated and listening and doing the activities. So only Tarindu is there. What about the others? You have 1 more minute to go, everyone. Right, very good. Roshan has also sent. Adi Hekti has also sent in answer. Good. I want everyone to send answers very quickly. So if there's anyone whose chat is not working, I want you to just use your microphone and I want you to tell me what you guess, right? What is your guess? And yeah, that's it. Just give me a simple answer, right, everyone? And also, Remember now, throughout the session, everyone, wow, very good. Everyone's now sending answers. Keep on sending. I want to see as many people send their answers as you can. So throughout the session, everyone, for certain activities, I will be calling your names out, right? So I'll be calling your names out and you need to respond to me, right? And we are going to do little activities. It doesn't matter whether you get the answer right or wrong, and that's not the purpose, right? So be alert, pay attention. If I call your name out, you have to participate. Otherwise, I'm going to tell the office not to allow you for future workshops, right? Because no point, no, if it is a webinar or a workshop, you have to work. If you're not working, if you're not responding, don't join. It's a waste of my valuable time, right? So everyone's who are here, everyone who is here, I want you to respond to the very first activity. Very good. I'm looking at a lot of interesting guesses, right? Okay, Kasuni says loss profit ratio. Shama says ratio analysis. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, Shashika says 3 billion US dollars. That's not a guess, Shashika. Okay, it's obvious, no? I have already written it's 3 billion dollars. I want you to guess what this 3 million was spent on, right? So make a guess. Very first thing is you have to listen to instructions carefully. යන්නේ කොහෙද මල්ලේ පොල්ල උත්තර දෙන්න බෑ. ග්‍රැමර් ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න අය වැඩියෙන්ම අවධානය යොමු කරන්න ඕන දේ තමයි ඒක. පළවෙනි දේ අහන දේ තේරුම් ගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ respond කරන්න. Right? So if you don't really bother to listen and understand first, and you give whatever answer you want, you're going to, whether your English is good or grammar is good, doesn't matter. People will misunderstand you, right? So number one, listen carefully and then try to do what is given to you. Okay. Okay, then Darshana has a very interesting answer. Darshana says IMF loan. Okay, I think that's an interesting answer. මං හිතුවේ නෑනේ අපිට IMF loan එකක් හම්බ වෙනවා කියලා grammar වැරදි හින්දා. Okay, ළමයි ඔන්න ලියා ගන්න. අපිට IMF loan එකක් ලැබෙන්න යනවලු. හරිද? අපේ දර්ශන කියන්න. මේ grammar බැරි නිසා ලංකාවේ මිනිස්සුන්ට IMF loan එකක් ලැබෙන්න යනවා. Right? So that's an interesting answer. So I want everyone to make a guess about these numbers. දැන් කී දෙනෙක් බලන්න මේ චූටි activity එකෙන් ඔයගලන්ට තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් කී දෙනෙක්ට හොඳ listening skill එකක් තියෙනවද කී දෙනෙක්ට bad listening skill එකක් තියෙනවද කියලා. Right? So මේක තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අහන දෙයට උත්තරේ දෙන්න පුරුදු වෙන්න. තමන්ට ඕන දෙයට උත්තර දීලා වැඩක් නැහැනේ. So always first understand the requirement and then try to use grammar to respond correctly. Okay? So I see a lot of excuse me. I see a lot of very good answer. Very good. Hashini says wasted time. Very good guess, Hashini, right? Patum says profitable ratio, working capital. Okay, good. Then, okay, some of you have written data. So data is not a guess. Obviously, this is data and statistics, right? I want you to think about what these data or numbers represent. Then චතුරිත් කියලා තියෙනවා ratio, බස්නායක කියලා තියෙනවා data. අහන ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ නෙමෙයි. Right? දැන් ඔයගලන් bosses ලට ගිහලා මොනවා කියනවද දන්නේ නැහැ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින්. ඔහොම කියොත් නේද? අහන එකට නෙමෙයි boss ට උත්තරේ ලැබෙන්නේ. Right? So you have to understand the question. I asked all of you to look at the numbers and at least about one number make a guess. Some of you have done very good guesses, right? Others have to understand how to make a guess. Echo කට්ටිය දන්නේ guess එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. right? එහෙම නැත්තම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ අහගෙන ඉන්නේ නැහැ හරියට. So a little activity like this will help us out of all the participants today. We have a good number today, right? කී දෙනෙක් හරියට session එකක් අහගෙන ඉන්නවද? session එකක කියන දේ කී දෙනෙක් තේරුම් ගන්නවද? එහෙම නැත්නම් කී දෙනෙක් misinterpret කරනවා? Right? So these are some of the things you can learn. Please do not misunderstand, listen carefully, right? Don't multitask. If you're doing other things and you're trying to cover this also, better. Please log out, right? If you are staying here, I want you to be physically okay, you can't be physically here, but you can be psychologically here with the class, right? So do that. I see a lot of good numbers, right? Then සමහර අය නම් ලොකු ලොකු වචන ලියලා තියෙනවා solvency valuation ඕවත් ලියලා තියෙනවා මේ මට අහන්න තියෙන්නේ ඇයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔච්චර ලොකු වචන ලියන්නේ කියලා, because that also part of your grammar knowledge නේද? එතකොට මේ solvency කොහොමද මෙතන numbers වලට connect වෙන්නේ? So you all have to think critically before you answer. Don't try to impress people. Just try to fulfill the task. Leave your ego behind, right? වචන දන්න බව පෙන්වන්න යන්න එපා. එතකොට දැන් මේ solvency කියන එක කොහොමද මෙතනට අදාළ වෙන්නේ කියලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොඩ්ඩක් හිතන්නකෝ. Now I have a very good guess from Shehan. Shehan Sandeep, a very good guess, Shehan. I think you are one of the people who have done the guessing part correctly. So let me read out from Shehan's answer, right? 2 of 3 people fall into trouble just because they don't know grammar correctly. So Sandeep's answer, Sandeep's answer tells me that he has been listening to me and he knows the meaning of the word guess. Right? And he is able to use his logical thinking to connect my topic with these numbers. හරිද? දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ අහගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. අහන් ඉන්න නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ letters, memos, reports, your presentations වල කොච්චර වැරදි දේවල් ලියනවා කියනවාද, right? So first is to understand the task and then use correct grammar to respond to the task, right? Yeah, very good. Hashini has also given another very good guess, right? Okay, good job with everyone. I really appreciate the fact that all of you try to at least send me some sort of an answer. Okay, so that's a great start, right? Let me tell you what these numbers mean and how these are connected to the topic that I'm talking to you about today, right? So I'm not here to teach you about solvency. I'm not here to teach you about profit and loss margins. I'm not here to teach you about mergers and acquisitions. And I'm not here to talk to you about debt to equity ratio. What am I doing, everyone? Right? I'm here to talk to you about your grammar knowledge and how that connects to your communication, right? So these numbers are very important to all of us because they are all connected to good grammar or bad grammar in some way, right? So I hope now everyone is here. If you have been thinking about, IMF loans, and if you're thinking about tomorrow's office meeting, right? If you are thinking about going out with your girlfriends or friends, now you know what I'm talking about, right? Because I got you to pay attention to me. So now we need to jump into the session and we will talk about the importance of grammar and what happens if you don't really pay attention and use proper grammar, right? Okay, so there were 2 numbers. The first number is 100 and the next number is 50, right? So the 100 refers to a survey that done regarding LinkedIn profiles. Okay, very quickly, before I talk about this, I want you to raise your hand if you have a LinkedIn profile. How many of you have a LinkedIn profile? Can you raise your hand virtually? Yeah, don't raise physically. Very good. We have Mohan, Kasun, Tarindu, Hashini, Tilini. Very good. Shehan, Hiruni. Please don't put numbers. I need your name. Okay, please put your name if possible. Patum, Nishant, Darshana, Shaturi, Dulanjali, Deepat, Nadun, Roshan. Okay, wonderful. Very good. So there are a lot of you, I think, have a LinkedIn profile. Okay? That's wonderful because this is sometimes when I ask this in classes, only a few people have it. But I suppose your group is good because you all seems to be kind of aware of what it is, right? So if you don't have it, I think that's a good idea for you to go and get one because it really helps your career. Okay, coming back to my discussion. Thank you very much, everyone. So you can lower your hands now. Um, so again, some of you are paying attention. I'm very happy about it. Don't think of anything else because you will miss out a lot of important information I'm giving you out today, right? So there were two numbers. Number one was 100, right? So there was a survey done on LinkedIn profiles of 100 native English speakers in the consumer packaged goods industry, right? So the number 100 refers to the 100 LinkedIn profiles, not of Sri Lankan people, of course, but people who speak English as their mother tongue. Okay, remember that. That's the important point. Then number 50 refers to half of that 100 who got promoted very, very quickly. 50 also refers to 50 people who failed to get any promotions during this particular period, right? So 100 refers to the LinkedIn profiles. 100 out of these 100, 50 were getting regular promotions and they were reaching very high levels in their careers, getting recognitions, prizes, awards, and blah, blah, blah. And then another 50 was there who did not get any promotions during their career, right? So then you will remember there was 45%. Some of you made a guess on that, right? So this 45% means that professionals with 6 to 9 promotions within that period made 45% less grammar mistakes in their communication. So what does that mean? That means in the job market, right? Among native speakers of English, among people who use English as their mother tongue, there are people who make a lot of grammar mistakes, right? But out of those people, 40 people who made 45% less grammatical errors, right, got more and more promotions. So that means the lesson here is that fewer grammar errors correlate with more promotions. Okay, so promotions are somehow connected to grammar errors. I'm not saying, oh, the survey is not saying that that is the only reason, but there are among many other reasons. This is one of the reasons when you analyze these high performers profiles. So do you want to be a high performer in your industry? That's what I want to ask. Or do you want to be stuck in the middle level? Yeah. Okay. So think about it. So let's look at the next number, 2.5 times, right? The profiles of those who fail to achieve director level positions within the first 10 years of their careers made 2.5 times as many grammar mistakes as the director level colleagues. right? So people who are at the very top level, now we're talking about the director level, right? So when they wanted to get promotions, people who made errors more, 2.5 times of grammar errors compared to other group of people, could not get promotions properly, right? So the lesson again is professionals with fewer grammar errors in their profiles had achieved higher positions, right? So what are the numbers telling all of you? In the job market, in the world of work, right? When you are working with other human beings, you're dealing with foreign clients, where you're dealing with foreign customers, online work, right? Every time you engage in these activities, the industry statistics tell us that people who made a lot of grammar errors created a situation where they fail to achieve quick progression in their career. Okay, among other things. Right, so the next two numbers are 2/3 and $3 billion. Okay, so what does this 2/3 mean? So the particular survey says that 2/3 of salaried jobs require a significant amount of writing. So that means whatever industry that you are in, you can be a marketeer, you can be an accountant, you can be a doctor, you can be a dentist, you can be a, I don't know, like anything that you want, right? 2 out of 3 of these jobs and industries require a considerable amount of writing. So writing is absolutely one of the key parameters for getting promotions and reaching out to markets, right? Reaching out to new clients, getting new investors, persuading people, right? So that is what 2/3 refers to. So if you apply for 3 different positions, 2 jobs out of that will definitely need you to have good grammar and good writing skills. And finally, the number $3 billion refers to how much of money is spent every year for remedial training of employees who cannot write and use proper grammar. Can you believe that? 3 billion American dollars. And how much are we getting, everyone, from the IMF loan? So that's why I said it's an interesting fact. How much are we getting? We are getting 2.9 billion. No? දැන් මෙතන 3 billion ම දෙනවලු අපිට. එහෙනම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ග්‍රෑමර් හදාගත්තොත් අපිට රට දියුණු කරන්න පුළුවන්නේ? Right? So think about it, right? So 3 billion actually refers to how much of money is spent in 1 year, right? 1 year trying to train employees who cannot use the English language properly. You got it, right? So this is not just about Sri Lanka. This shows you the global snapshot of what is happening with people's grammar skills and their communication skills. So more and more and more grammar communication skills are becoming a very, very hot topic. So don't ignore it. Make sure that you pay attention to the lesson to be learned here. Right? So what is the lesson to be learned here? Why did I tell you about all these numbers you saw at the beginning? 100, 50, 2/3, 3 billion, 2.5 times, right? 45%. What do all these numbers tell us? Okay, it tells you that as you move up to higher positions in your career, you need more advanced and accurate grammar to perform complex and high risk tasks. So if you are still at the beginning part of your career, like say the business level probably, or the corporate level, right? You will be moving up to the next level. So the moment you move up to the next level means that you have to handle more complex, high risk jobs. and problems, right? You can be Einstein for that matter, or you can be the best person with the highest IQ in the world. But if you are unable to communicate it through proper grammar and communication, others will not notice you, right? That is, don't believe me, just believe the numbers. It comes from the industry, right? So remember that now in Sri Lanka, we normally have this attitude problem, right? We think, okay, I'm a doctor, I don't need to bother too much about my communication, right? So doctors end up scribbling medicine, we can't read anything, right? Pharmacist විතරයි doctor ගේ note එක කියවන්න, right? So okay, maybe there's a point there, but what I'm saying is we don't really bother. Like we think, okay, I'm an accountant, I'm a banker, I don't need to, like, as long as I'm okay with my main subject, I don't need to bother about these things. And also I have heard that in CA itself, some higher ups saying that, you know, when students learn in the English medium, they will eventually catch up with English, right? Does that happen? What do you think? Does that happen? Maybe to some extent, but definitely not enough English for you to achieve higher levels in your career. For a beginner, you can catch up with your friends and the environment, right? But don't think that you can catch up with English just by learning in the English medium. You need to pay attention, you need to practice, you need to do a lot of reading, a lot of listening to good English. Without these, you will be stuck at the bottom level of English competency. And we end up seeing a lot of comments from your examiners who say that students absolutely ignore basic grammar, right? They are very good in their analysis, they are good at graph writing, they are good at interpretation, they can do predictions well, but they are unable to write it, right? So I think I have been lucky enough to teach students at various levels of the CA syllabus. I'm engaged in teaching and lecturing to SAB students as well. I do a lot of workshops for even past finalists. So I see all of these levels, right? Please don't have the myth that you can acquire grammar and good English just by learning in the medium. You need higher practice because you all are moving up the career ladder, right? You will not be able to achieve complex English just by learning in the English medium, right? So everyone, make sure from today onwards, at least, right? At least every day try to listen to something in English. I will be giving you some very interesting resources at the end of the session, so don't leave. And I did a session on business etiquette, and there also, I think I mentioned this, there are a lot of students who join the online sessions. Session එක ඉවර වෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා එකපාරට disappear, right? Session එකෙන් leave වෙනවා. So these are very impolite things to do, right? If we are in a physical class, will you leave the room without telling your teacher? Right? ඒ වගේ තමයි. දැන් ගොඩාක් අය එනවා session එකට join වෙච්ච බව පෙන්නන්න නම දාගන්න එනවා. ඊට පස්සේ කිසිම දෙයක් අහගෙන ඉන්නේ නැහැ. ඔහේ login කරලා කොහේ හරි යනවා වෙන වැඩ කරනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් අඩුම ගානේ අන්තිම ටිකේදී ටක් ගාලා log out වෙනවා. Right? So these lead you to wrong behaviors, bad habits and attitudes every day, right? So make sure, just like grammar, don't have these myths about learning in the English medium, improving yourself. All you can do maybe, if you learn in the English medium, you might improve your vocabulary, right? But it does not help you to improve your grammar. Grammar needs special attention, right? So that's why today's session is very important to you, because I have made it customized for CA students, right? I have targeted your own special areas of problems or issues that I have noted, and therefore I hope this session becomes a very interesting, useful one to you. And also you enjoy the session. Plus you change your mental attitude about improving your English, right? You need to realize that you need to get special training in achieving higher levels of English. So most of you, this will be useful because you will be very soon after your probably go abroad, you will have to face exams like IELTS or TOEFL or PT or all of these exams, right? One of these exams. And as a IELTS coach also, I noted that there were a lot of problems with basic level grammar. Okay. So if you have now that you know why you have to pay attention to grammar, and that grammar is not just about impressing people, or it's not just about doing business communication 1 level, BC 2 level. It's more than that. It gives you more benefits to your career, because you have looked at all these numbers from the industry, and what the developed countries are also, like say Australia, America, India, everywhere. India is not a developed country, but everywhere people are facing the same problem, right? So, if you have good grammar, everyone, what are the benefits, right? What does good grammar show to people you are working with? There are many benefits, but I want you to at least remember these 3 benefits, right? What are the benefits? Number one, attention to detail. So if you have good grammar, number one thing, when a client sees your business report, when a client sees your email, they will read your email and they will very quickly create a first impression, right? So this first impression will tell them that you pay attention to detail. You look at the smaller details, the little things that you are saying. You're careful about what you are writing, right? You're thinking about the accuracy of your work, and you value what you do. So if you type an email to a boss or a client or a customer, you are showing with good grammar that you are respecting them. In other words, you're respecting their time, their commitment, or their effort in reading your email, right? And you're showing them, look here, I take my work seriously, and I pay attention to my details, and I want to make sure that all my work is a signature of perfection, not just the accounting part, right? Secondly, critical thinking. Knowing how to structure your arguments in a grammatically correct way shows people that you are not just a boaster or a talker, right? A lot of people can actually talk, but when it comes to writing and creating arguments, you have to use your critical thinking, no? So you're showing people you're showing the people around you that I have critical thinking and I know how to frame a good logical question. I know how to present the ideas that I have, right? Number 3, intellectual aptitude, right? So say for example, now all of you are adults now, right? And if you still don't know the difference between say for example, okay, I'm gonna escape from this for a minute, right? So say for example, the difference between these 2 words, right? Then, right, then you're not really going to impress anyone, right? Because these are very simple basic English words and grammar parts that you simply cannot ignore. But you won't believe when I look at your exam answers, when I look at your student work, and sometimes very serious work like advanced business reports, sometimes the viva voce that some people do, their slides. So when we look at those, we realize that there are so many common errors regarding these items, right? And even though you all have become adults, you are still making these grade 1, grade 2 level mistakes. So these are the 3 benefits of having very good grammar: attention to detail, critical thinking, intellectual aptitude. So what am I trying to tell all of you, everyone? I'm trying to tell you that grammar is not just grammar, right? You should not learn grammar because CS Sri Lanka syllabus says that there will be questions on grammar, right? No, you should learn grammar for yourself, for your ease of life, right? Your convenience. Because learning good grammar helps you to communicate with confidence and with ease, right? So don't learn grammar for somebody else. Learn grammar for yourself. Don't just be a person who learns it in a very automatic manner, right? Because a lot of students, I feel that even after giving these wonderful sessions by all of your lecturers, we still see a large number of unexcusable mistakes and errors being committed by students. So the fact that we are giving these sessions to you, please use them and make sure that you don't take grammar as a very negligible thing, right? වැඩක් නෑනේ කවුද ඕව ගණන් ගන්නේ පස්සේ grammar හදාගමු ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි මේක පාස් කරන්න ඕනේනේ මේ වගේ attitudes තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ අයින් කරගන්න මොකද මම දැන් ඔයගලන්ට හොඳටම prove කරලා තියෙනවා ඕගලන්ගේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකට විතරක් නෙමෙයි හැම ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකටම සහ මුළු ලෝකයටම කොච්චර මේ grammar කියන දේ නැති නිසා cost එකක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවද කියලා, right? So think about it, right? So make sure that you don't ignore it. Develop your attitude. Learn grammar for yourself. Don't learn grammar for your lecturers. Don't learn grammar for other people. Don't learn grammar to impress people. Learn it for yourself, right? Your benefit, your convenience. So now we know what is grammar, right? Then we talked about benefits of grammar. Then we talked about industry statistics about grammar. The next point I'm going to talk to you about is what exactly is grammar. Okay, before I give you the answer, I want you to quickly jump to your chat and give this question a try. What do you think is grammar, everyone? In your own words, in simple English, right? Tell me what is grammar for you? What do you understand personally by the word grammar? Okay, again, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I would like all of you to send me your thinking. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want definitions. I just want you to tell me what you understand from this little word grammar. What is grammar? Okay, 2 minutes to everyone. Please send your answers. What is grammar? Okay, very good. Amal, I like your answer. Very simple, but very good answer. Okay, good. Keep on sending, everyone. Okay, I don't have a name, but okay, the second answer is also true. Please change the numbers and you put your name, everyone, because I don't know who is texting, right? Okay, Mohan, good answer. Yeah, Abhishek, good. Shehan, good answer. Patum, Hashini, good. Tenuka, Prajeevan, very good. Pujani, very good. Keep on sending your answers, everyone. Again, I would like to see all of you sending some sort of an answer. And again, don't worry about, I'm not a person who shouts at people for getting things wrong. At least you are trying, okay? So don't be afraid to make mistakes. I think mistakes, personally for me, I really like mistakes because they're a sign that you are thinking and you are processing information, right? Uh, so a lot of Sri Lankans are very worried about making mistakes. I remember when I was a student, I used to ask a lot of questions from my teachers, and then I got branded as this Pandita Kella Kella, right? So the reason is not because I wanted to like impress people. It's just that if you're thinking, you have to ask questions, no? But then I realized that when I make a mistake, others laugh, right? And then they kind of make funny faces and all that. So I think Lankaවේ පරිසරය එච්චර සුදුසු නෑ මේ mistakes වලට. නමුත් it depends on your classroom, it depends on your teacher. The teacher has the power and the ability to make a mistake tolerant environment, right? So in all my classes, I always encourage people just to communicate. If you communicate only, you will learn. If you make mistakes only, you will learn, right? එතකොට කවුරුත් මීට පස්සේ ඉංග්‍රීසි පන්තියට ගිහිල්ලා අත් දෙක බැඳගෙන කටවල් වහගෙන ඉන්න එපා. ඔයගලන්ට ඇත්තටම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරගන්න ඕන නම් ප්‍රශ්න ඇහිීමෙන් පටන් ගන්න. Right? ඔයගලන්ගේ lecturers-ලට නිකන් ඉන්න දෙන්න එපා. Because it's your responsibility as well. I've seen a lot of boring classes. Right? Boring because the students don't participate. Teacher උගන්වනවා එයා කියන දේ ඔක්කොම පිළි අරගෙන මේගොල්ලෝ ගෙදර යනවා. Right? So don't let that happen. Create a very active environment. I'm very happy that all of you are helping me out because learning in the university level is always a partnership. At least for me, I feel that this is a partnership, right? As you know, in business, partnerships will not work if either party is cheating the other party. Neither. So if your partner is not equally helping you, the business will suffer. Same thing applies to this situation. If you help your lecturers will definitely help you out. So become active, have fun in the class, ask questions, but also pay attention to how you communicate. Wonderful answers, everyone. I'm looking at a lot of answers now. Very happy with your participation. Keep it up, everyone. Okay, I'm very happy. So it doesn't matter whether some of the answers are right or wrong. I don't care. As long as you respond to me, I know that you're not falling asleep. Right? So don't fall asleep. Right. So now we are going to jump into the deep end and we are going to very quickly talk about the substance of today's session. Right. At a high level, the definition of grammar is that it is a system of rules that allows us to structure sentences. So what is grammar, everyone? I think most of you captured this idea. It's a system of rules. Okay, it's a system of rules. So let's say, I'm going to escape because I want to write something here. Okay, I'm just trying to give you example now. So let's say I write a sentence here. Tell me if this is correct or wrong, right or wrong, okay? Okay, I don't know if you can see this sentence or not. I'll just read it out. So the sentence I wrote says, Their red was a dog. Is this a correct sentence? Is it using a system of rules? What do you feel? Shall I ask someone? Right, let me ask someone. Okay. What about Abhishek? Abhishek, what do you think? Is this, just tell me yes or no, right? Is this sentence using a system of rules? Can you use your microphone, Abhishek?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, very good. So this is not, right? We know that this sentence can never be a good English sentence. How do we know that? So as you see, English has a set of grammar. So grammar means, obviously, this is a system of rules, right? So this is a system of rules. Based on this system of rules, anyone who knows a little bit of English will definitely tell you, "Ayyo, monada me liyala tiyenne, meka waradine." Right? Okay, so let me ask one more person, right? Let's ask. Dilukshan, are you there? Can you use your microphone, Dilukshan? Can you correct this little sentence and tell us the correct English sentence? Dilukshan. Dilukshan, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
What's
Can you
the
correct
question?
it? The sentence is, their red was a dog. So it's on the slide. I have written it already.
There was a red dog. Is it correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very good. There was a red dog, right? But you will see that it's not logically correct. Then අපි රතු පාට බල්ලෝ දැකලා නෑනේ නේද? So, but does it make the sentence grammatically wrong? නැහැ. එතකොට කාටවත් කියන්න බෑ මේක grammatically වැරදි කියලා. Meaningfully වැරදි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඔයගලන්ට මේකේ සම්බන්ධතාවය තේරෙන්න. Right? So, according to English grammar rules, this is a very good sentence in English. You got it? So sometimes we tend to write confusing sentences because there is sometimes a mismatch between the meaning and the grammar. උදාහරණයක් විදිහට මෙන්න මේ sentence එක වගේ. Right? Okay, so I hope all of you understood that point. So grammar is a system of rules that allows us to structure written or spoken sentences. Right? There was a red dog is a grammatically correct sentence, but there red was a dog is grammatically incorrect. Why? Because there is a very set, very fixed word order in English. So English is actually called a fixed word order language, whereas Sinhala is called a flexible word order language. එතකොට මේ සිංහල භාෂාවයි ඉංග්‍රීසි අතර තියෙන මේ ව්‍යාකරණ නොගැලපීම නිසා අපේ ළමයි ගොඩාක් වැරදි කරගන්න. මොකද සිංහලෙන් හිතලා ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් ලියන්න එපා කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ හේතුව නිසා. තව ගොඩක් හේතු තියෙනවා. නමුත් මම එකයි ඔයගලන්ට කියලා දුන්නේ. Right? So English is called a fixed word order language, whereas Sinhala is called a flexible word order language. Right? එතකොට එකකින් හිතලා තව එකකින් ලියන්න ගියාම ඕගොල්ලෝයි හැමෝම ගොඩක් අමාරුවේ වැටෙනවා. So do not think in English, do not think in Sinhala or Tamil and then try to translate that into English. Because of these different systems of grammar, you will write a sentence like, their red was a dog, which is not correct, right? So it includes, why does this happen? Grammar actually includes several things. Number one, grammar includes parts of speech, Number 2, grammar includes clauses. Number 3, grammar includes punctuation. Number 4, grammar includes mechanics of language. Right? So let's jump in and let's find out. I don't have time to talk about everything, but I'm trying to give you a fairly overview of some of these critical areas as applicable to CA students, right? එතකොට ගොඩාක් වැරදි තියෙනවා. නමුත් මම දකින ගොඩාක් common වැරදි සහ examiners comments බැලුවහම මම දැක්ක වැරදි target කළා තමයි මම session එක කරන්නේ. So this will really help you if you listen to me carefully. This will almost immediately improve your grammar score in BC1, BC2 corporate level English papers, right? Okay. I want you to give me an answer to this one. So this time I want you to use your chat. Despite the warnings given to the worker by his manager, his actions resulted in liability for the company and for employee. So we are looking at a bit of an advanced sentence here, something related to your field. I want you to tell me whether this sentence is grammatically good or bad. What do you feel? Just tell me good or bad. 2 words, 1 word, only 1 word, right? So I'm giving everyone a minute to read and understand, and then 1 minute to respond to my question. Is this a grammatically correct sentence? Okay, good. Abhishek sent the first answer. Very nice. Oh, sorry, Roshan has sent the first answer. Very good, Roshan. I like people who think quickly. No, පැයක් අරගෙන උක හිතලා වැඩක් නැහැ immediately at sense නේ grammar ඇහෙනකොට දැනෙන්න ඕනේ අඟට ටක් ගාලා දැනෙන්නට හරිද වැරදිද. So very good. Lot of people are sending me answers quickly. Good or bad? Just 1 word. Huh? Malisha says goo. What is goo, Malisha? Right? Okay, it's a typo. I know that. Okay, come on, keep on sending everyone. I want you to මේ වැඩේ කරන්නත් බැරි නම් ඉතින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ session එකේ ඉඳලා වැඩක් නැහැ, right? If you are tired to do good or bad කියන වචන ගහන්නත් කම්මැලි නම් don't stay in the session. Because no point. If you are here, I want you to be active, right? Very good. A lot of people are sending answers. It doesn't matter what answer you send me, just send one. What do you feel? What is your gut feeling about this sentence? Okay, keep on sending. Everyone has to send. You have to decide, right? You can't be on the fence, everyone. Then මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් පන්තියකදී අහුවාම සමහර අය උත්තරේ දෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැංගිලා ඉන්නවා. right? හැංගෙනවා අනිත් අය කියයිනේ කියලා අහක බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. හැබැයි ඒකෙන් ඕගලන්ට පාඩුවක් වෙන්නේ. මොකද ඕගොල්ලන්ට ability එකක් නැහැ තනියෙන් තීරණයක් ගන්න මම මේ පාවිච්චි කරන language එක හරිද වැරදිද කියලා. ඉතින් එහෙම කරන්න එපා. ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඕගොල්ලෝ confidence හදාගන්න. right? Develop your confidence to take a decision. Is it good? Is it bad? Take a decision. It doesn't matter what your answer is, right? As long as you can justify your choice. සමහර ළමයින්ට confidence නැහැ. සමහර අයට උනන්දුවක් නැහැ, සමහර අයට confidence නැහැ. right? ඉතින් උත්තරයක්වත් එවන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතනවාද කිසිම උත්සාහයක් නොකර IMF එකේ loan එක වගේ, right? ඒක මහන්සි වෙලානේ අපි ගත්තනේ. හරි. එහෙම නැතුව මහන්සි නොවි ලැබිච්ච දෙයක් මොකක්ද අපිට? අපි හිතමුකෝ නෙළුම් කුළුණ කියලා නේ මහන්සි නොවි ලැබිච්ච දෙයක්. එතකොට ඒ වගේ එකපාරට පාත් වුණොත්, right? Will you ever know whether you're using good English or bad English? So make sure you develop your confidence. Create confidence to give an answer to your teacher. right? Because a lot of students, they don't bother to respond in online classes. But you join so many online sessions, ne? But what is the benefit? So I really appreciate everyone who had the guts to send me answers. Very good job, everyone. Right? Keep it up. Very good job. දිගටම එවන්න. බය වෙන්න එපා. ඕගොල්ලෝ වගේමයි මමත්. අපි මේක උපතින් ගෙනාවේ නෑ. ඕගොල්ලෝ accounting උපතින් ගෙනවද? නෑනේ නේද? අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. ඉගෙන ගත්ත පුද්ගලයෙක් දන්නවා අනිත් කෙනාට ඉගෙන ගන්න තියෙන අමාරුව. So they don't laugh at other people. Right? So develop your confidence, give an answer to your teachers. They will really appreciate it. One of the biggest problems that we have faced after COVID is that people, students have become very passive. කිසිම දෙයක් ගණන් ගන්නෑ, උත්තර දෙන්නේ, කතා කරන්නේ, activities කරන්නේ, read කරන්නේ English. ඉතින් මේක නිසා තව අවුරුදු 100ක් ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙනුවත් මං හිතන්නේ අපේ තත්ත්වය මේ විදිහටම තියෙයි. Right? But you have the power to change it, everyone. Okay? Right. So let's come back to the question. Despite the warnings given to the worker by his manager, his actions resulted in liability for the company and for employee. Okay. So I asked the question, is this good English or bad English? Now check this out. I want to draw again, so I'm sorry. I'm going to escape from the full mode. Give me a second. I was here. Okay, so what am I saying here, everyone? Right, you can see, I hope you can see my slides. If not, please let me know, right? So the same sentence is here, but I have given you an indication about the accuracy of this statement, right? So whose action, right? Despite the warnings given to the workers by his manager, his actions resulted in liability for the... So who is this? His, right? His action. Whose action? We are talking about two people. Who are the two people? I'm going to ask someone now. Okay. Let's ask. Okay, we have Kasun. Kasun, are you there? Can you use your microphone and tell me an answer? Kasun?
The manager, madam.
Okay, very good. Tell me again.
The manager.
Okay, we are talking about two people, no, Kasun. Tell me who are the two people here?
Manager and employee.
Very good. There is one manager and there is a employee or a worker here. Very good. So we are talking about two people. So when you say his action, are you clear on whose action we are referring to? Let me make action. Despite the warnings given to the worker by his manager, his actions resulted in liability. Let me mama may highlight karana his kiyana vachanaya, right? Making dennage kavada amantraniya karan. Can someone figure it out? Or is it ambiguous? Mokada me ambiguous kiyanne? Ambiguous කියලා කියන්නේ අපි grammar පාවිච්චි කරන අවස්ථාවල මොකක්ද ඒකේ වචනේ සිංහල වචනේ I don't know but මං හිතන්නේ ඒකට කියන්නේ ව්‍යංගාර්ථය නෑ හරි කමන්නේ I will just use a simple word. Alright, so ambiguous කියලා කියන්නේ විවිධ තේරුම් ඇති වෙනවා කියලා. Right, now Shehan is telling me a good thing. Rikas also says a good thing. Adi Hetty as well. But everyone, here's the problem. Prajeevan also says employees. Then Balanna, very good. Huh? All of you are very good. Tundanek kiyana, this is about the worker. Prajeevan kiyana, this is about the employees. Right? So you can see that api then gahaganna hadanne. right? So we are getting ready for a fight now. So Prajivan says, no, how can it be? This is about the worker. And all the others are saying, no, he is talking about the manager, right? What is this called? This is called ambiguity. Ambiguity කියන්නේ විවිධ තේරුම් ඇති වෙන. So ඇත්තටම කියනවා නම් මේ sentence එකේ හරිම තේරුම අපි කාටවත් කියන්න බෑ unless you talk to the person who wrote. So everybody, I really admire your effort. Shehan, Rikaz, Adihetti, Prajivan, Mohan, Roshan, Ishara. Thank you. Ishara, not except Ishara. Ishara කියනවා අපහැදිලි කියලා. ඔව් හරි. ambiguous කියන්නේ අපහැදිලි තමයි. right? එතකොට මේ අනිත් ඔක්කොමලා හොඳ effort එකක් දුන්නා. හැබැයි ඕගොල්ලෝ තේරුම් ගන්න මේ grammatical sentence එකක් නොවන බව, right? So this is a poorly written sentence in English. ඇයි ඕගොල්ලන්ට හිතුණට මේක අහවලා ගැනයි කියලා ඕන කෙනෙක්ට ඕන දෙයක් කියන්න පුළුවන් මේ sentence එකේ. right? ඒ කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේ වගේ ambiguous terms පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන නිසා. So this is a badly written sentence. දැන් කිව්වා නේද සමහර අය මේක හොඳ sentence එකක් කියලා, right? What else is wrong? Right? So let's move on. Which employee who is responsible? Right? So here they're talking about an employee, right? Here they're talking about a worker. So do we know whether these two words refer to the same person, or do we know they refer to two different people, two different employees, right? Because of the way the sentence is written, we have no answer. ඕගලන්ට හිතුණට වැඩක් නැහැ. අන්න ඒකයි මම මේ කියන්න හදන්නේ, right? Just because you think this is that, it can be interpreted in so many ways. යම් කිසි sentence එකක් විවිධ පුද්ගලයන්ට විවිධ විදිහට අර්ථ නිරූපණය කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන්නේ ඒ sentence එක bad කියන එක, right? So let me put that in English. If different people can interpret your sentence into different meanings, that means it's a poorly written sentence. Good grammatical sentences are unambiguous, right? Good grammatical sentences always give one clear meaning, and there are no confusions in the sentence. So now everyone think back to your answer. Some of you told me this is a bad answer. Some of you told me this is a good answer, right? Both groups need to think about why you gave your answer, right? Even the people who said this is a bad answer, did you realize that there were ambiguities in this sentence, right? So despite the warnings given to the worker by his manager, his actions resulted in the liability for the company. There අපි මෙතන තව ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා for the company. Whose company? Employee company ද එහෙම නැත්නම් පිට ආයතනයක්ද? We don't know for the company, right? ඒක යම්කිසි දුරකට අපි හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන් කියමුකෝ. company කියන එක මේගොල්ලන්ගේම company එක කියලා අපිට හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන් කියමුකෝ. But we don't know which one these words refer to. Because these words are used in a very ambiguous manner, this entire sentence becomes very confusing to people when they read it, right? So in other words, everyone, is this a good sentence or a bad sentence? This is grammatically a bad sentence. Why is this sentence a bad sentence? Because it creates different meanings to different people. So remember, if you are writing something, if the sentences that you wrote are giving different meaning to different people, then your writing is grammatically poor. So you must always try to write sentences which are unambiguous, which gives the reader a fairly clear idea. Is that clear to everyone? Then ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි මේක කරන්නේ. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි හිතනවා අපි තමයි වැදගත්ම එක්කෙනා, right? So you are so self-focused. You think about only yourself when you are writing. You don't really, most of you don't have enough training to think about your readers. But remember, speaking and writing are skills that are always focused on your readers. So if your boss can't understand what you are saying, or if the boss has misunderstood what you have said, right? You are indicating that you have bad grammar. So we have discussed what is meant by a good grammatical sentence as opposed to a bad grammatical sentence, right? Good grammatical sentences um, should contain unambiguous sentences. ඒ කියන්නේ අර අපි කතා කළා වගේ විවිධ අර්ථ දෙන sentences ලිව්වොත් ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක grammatically වැරදි. Right? එතකොට අපැහැදිලි sentences තියෙන්න බෑ හොඳ sentences වල. Okay, so let's come to this point. This is very important for all of you. I think I've briefly mentioned this before. And then we are going to jump into our activities segment, right? So why do we end up writing such confusing sentences? Number one, I think, is lack of awareness of basic grammar rules. Just like your examiners every year tell us, people simply have ignored or they have simply not learned the basic level of grammar. They have learned all the advanced level of grammar, right? They have used, conditionals, passive voices, reported speech. They have learned all these very advanced grammatical structures, but they have forgotten the very, very basic level, tiny little things that you need to focus on. So start with your basic level, everyone. If you're having problems with your answers, sometimes I feel that some of you don't even know that you have grammar problems. මොකද ගොඩාක් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ මම දැකලා තියෙන එක දෙයක් තමයි හොඳ දේවල් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. නමුත් නෙගටිව් දෙයක් විදිහට දැක්කේ අර ගොඩක් ළමයි ලියන දේ නැවත කියවලා බලන්නේ. වෙන මිනිස්සෙට මේ කියන දේ තේරෙනවද කියලා හිතන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ. ගොඩක් වෙලාට you just want to write it and just get it off with. Right? Then you don't care what happens to the next person. ඉතින් එහෙම වෙන්න එපා. Good communicators are always other oriented. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ management ඉගෙන ගන්නවා නම් ඉගෙනගෙන ඇතිනේ me oriented, we oriented management තියනවා කියලා. ඒ වගේ තමයි. Communication means that you have to be other oriented. You have to think about what happens to people who read your letters, emails, memos, right? When you send an email to one of your clients, did he have a heart attack and die, right? පොඩක් බලන්න හොයලා. ඒ මනුස්ස ජීවත් වෙනවද තාම? එයා ඉන්නවද? එයාට කියව ගන්න පුළුවන් වුණාද? එයාට ඔළුව කැක්කුමක් ආවද? දැන් ගොඩක් lecturers ලට වෙන්නේ ඕක තමයි. scripts, answer scripts පහක් විතර බැලුවහම stress ගෙදර අයටත් බනිනවා ඊට පස්සේ. ඒ තරම් grammar වැරදි, right? So I think ඒ මනුස්සයාගේ ගෙදර අයට මොකද වෙන්නේ? You have to check on your lecturers whether they are surviving, whether they are kind of living, or whether they are under depression. So just check what happens to your readers. Your readers are the most important part of your communication process, right? So whether you're the president of the country, whether you're an accountant, a big shot person, doesn't matter. As long as you ignore the readers, they will ignore you. Second one is also very common, right? I think I have already talked about this. So poor attitude. Because a lot of students and a lot of people think that grammar is not important as long as I'm good at my technical skills. I think ගොඩාක් අය උත්සාහ කරන්නේ they want to learn accounting, financial, cost management, human resources, I don't know, so many things. No, I think good, those are good things, but along with that, don't develop the attitude that grammar is not important, because everything that you do, I have shown you with industry statistics how that affects your career, right? So don't have that poor attitude. Develop an open attitude where you enjoy having good grammar, right? පොඩ්ඩක් ඒක උත්සාහ කරන්න. අනිත් අය ඉග්නෝර් කරන නිසා යාළුවෝ ගණන් ගන්න නැති නිසා ක්ලාස් එකේ අනිත් අය එච්චර කෙයා කරන්නේ නැත. ඕගොල්ලොත් එහෙම කරන්න යන්න එපා. මොකද ඒගොල්ලන්ට වැඩි ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔයා වෙනස් වෙනවා නම් ඔන්න හොඳම තැන. Because the industries need a lot of professionals with good grammar and good attention to detail. So you can, among 100 people who think in a bad way about grammar, who has a poor attitude about grammar, you can be that one person who shows that you appreciate good grammar. You care about good grammar, right? So imagine what that does to the next generation. Right? If you are the manager or a leader in your organization, if you have that positive attitude about good grammar, right? You are molding the future generation also to appreciate and care about grammar. දැන් අපිට එහෙම වෙලා නැති නිසානේ අද ලංකාවට මෙහෙම වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. අපේ කලින් හිටිය ලීඩර්ෂිප් එකේ ගොඩක් අයට නෙගටිව් ඇටිටියුඩ්ස් තියෙන්නේ. අර මං කිව්වා මට ඇහිලා තියෙනවා ගොඩක් අය සීනියර් මැනේජර්ස්ලා කතා කරන වෙලාවට ඉංග්‍රීසි ගැන කතා කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා මට ඇහිලා තියෙනවා. රයිට්? ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒක හැමතිස්සෙම සලකන අර necessary evil මිසක් essential කියලා නෙමෙයි. right? ඉතින් සිලබස් එකේ දානවා. ඇතුළට business communication කියලා දානවා. හැබැයි කිසිම කෙනෙක් කෙයා කරන්නේ නැහැ ඒක ගැන. සමහර වෙලට credits නැහැ ඒවට. ඔයගලගේ main subjects වලට ඔයගලන්ට credits තියෙනවා. හැබැයි business communication course එකට credit දෙන්නේ. right? ඉතින් ළමයි eventually students become subconsciously conditioned to think business communication නේ වැඩක් නෑ. credit නෑනේ අනේ ඔන්න ඔය මොකක් හරි ලියලා දාන්න. right? So don't be a leader like that. Be a leader who appreciate the beauty of language and communication and pass that on to your next generation. Imagine how beautiful the next generation will communicate if you are a leader like that. හරි ඉතින් මේක ලෝකෙ වටේම අපි දකින දුර්වලතාවක් ලීඩර්ෂිප් එකේ දුර්වලතාව නිසා අදටත් මිනිස්සුන්ට very bad attitudes තමයි මේ grammar ගැන තියෙන්නේ. Third one is your memory, right? Sometimes when you are writing very complicated things, let's say a very difficult technical report, you tend to focus more on the complex issues, right? You forget the grammar there. So sometimes your memory is so pressurized, you're giving your 100% attention to the technical side, right? Which is okay. That's why you need to learn how to revise and edit your writing. So always, everyone, always, when you write something, text message, email, memo, business report, right? Anything, note, right? Whatever you write, please read it back to yourself, check for errors and do editing and revising. Okay, so those are important. And time pressure. So in the exam, what happens to some good students is that, sorry, Roshan, what do you mean by that? I didn't get what you said. Right? So the next one is that sometimes, please do clarify your question, Roshan. Okay, I want to know what you meant by that. Okay, so the number 4 reason is time pressure. So obviously in exam situations, you are really pressurized for your time. So sometimes you will make grammar mistakes and all that. Again, what is the rule there? The rule is to revise, read it back and edit. Please always do that, right? Even in exams, you have to remember your grammar is absolutely important. And finally, lack of empathy. What I mean by that is a lot of people don't actually empathize with their readers. Right? ඉතින් examiners ගැන වැඩිය හිතන්නේ නැහැ, reader ගැන හිතන්නේ. ඉතින් එහෙම වුණාම what happens is you kind of ignore what the reader is going through, right? So make sure that you don't do that and that you remember. Yeah, sorry. So that you remember to empathize with your reader, right? තමන්ගේ readerට මොකද උනේ කියලා පොඩක් හොයන්න. පොඩක් හිතන්න. මම ලියුමක් ලිව්වා, right? bossට හම්බුණාද දන්නේ නැහැ. Is he okay? Is he having a heart attack? Has he died? Has he fainted? Right? පොඩක් හිතන්න. මම teacherට exam paper එක දුන්නා. teacherට මොකද උනේ? Right? Did the teacher understand what I said? Right? Will she understand? You got to think about these things. So what are we talking about? We are talking about the main causes of confusing grammar in your writing. Okay, everyone? Right. So I want all of you to think back now and do a very quick little thing, right? Little thing. Think about all the topics that we have covered up to now. Tell me at least one idea that you learned new about grammar. Tell me something new so far in the session you have learned that you think is very useful to your life. Okay, so I want you to send that to me and I want you to take a very quick break. I'm not giving a very long break. Okay, like say 5 minutes. Shall we have a quick break? So it's already 37. 37 means 3 minutes. 7:37. Yeah. Yeah, around 42 we can start. 7:42 we can start. Yeah. Right? So what am I asking all of you to do, everyone? We are going to have a quick break. But before the break, I want you to send me one idea or rule or comment or anything that you learn from this session about grammar, which you think is really important to you personally. Tell me one thing you learned up to now in the session. So send it on the comment, the chat section. Right, I will join all of you at in another 4 minutes time, 7:42 maybe, yeah. Okay, so everyone, I hope all of you have joined back, and I'm just looking at until you come back. I'm just going through the answers. Right, very good answers, right? I'm very happy. Everyone who has sent me answers, you're telling me that you have listened to the session with interest. Wow, that's amazing, right? එතකොට හැම පන්තියක්ම අපිට මේ වගේ ඇක්ටිව් කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් බලන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ජීවිතේ ගොඩක් කාලය ඔයගලන්ට ඉතුරු කරගන්න පුළුවන් නේ මොකද just imagine if you don't have proper grammar that affects everything that you do in English including your lectures right එතකොට දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතුවට main subject lectures යනවා ඒවට ලකුණු තියනවා කියලා සමහර වෙලාවට ඒ කියන ඉංග්‍රීසි ඕගලන්ට නොතේරෙනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන් right සමහර විට lecturer කියපු දේම නෙමෙයි වෙන්නේ නැති තේරුම් ගන්න. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා these comments tell me that most of you have been listening to me carefully and you have been interested and more than that you have understood what I said correctly. That's very important. ගොඩක් ළමයි misunderstand කරනවා. දැන් කවුරු හරි මම බය වෙලා හිටියේ කවුරු හරි කියයි කියලා we are going to get a IMF loan because of grammar කියලා කොයි හරි ලියයි කියලා right so luckily you all have not written that and you understood that to be a joke so that is also part of grammar right කෙනෙක්ට grammar නැත්තම් jokes තේරෙන්නෙත් නැහැ right so that's very very important for you to remember කාට හරි විහිළු කරන්න හරි කාට හරි බනින්න හරි දෙකටම grammar ඕනේ නේ so these are important things. Okay, Amila, why do you say that it's a 6-hour paper? Usually the paper is 3 hours neither. I think like...
Yes,
I
ma'am,
know.
it is
It's-
3-hour
yeah.
paper.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is 3-hour paper, but it is we cannot achieve that in 3 hours. That is 6 hours we need. If we
Which paper are you referring to, Amila?
every paper, ma'am. When we if we want to relook at the answers and all the things, definitely we need 6 hours.
Okay, but I think then maybe it's a problem of time management, Amila. Mukadana, because I'm also I don't set your papers, but I do set you know the SAP papers and all that. So there, if you feel that you don't have enough time, I don't know. I actually accept what you say. We will have to also look at the paper structure and see whether it is too much for all of you to handle. But also on your end, I would like you to think and check whether your time management has to be better and leave at least 5 minutes. What I'm talking about is you don't need to take half an hour, just 5 minutes at the end, or maybe not even 5, 3 minutes. Prashna hatarak tiyenawa na every question, once you finish writing it, 3 minutes alin kiyawana tak tak galas. So you have a lot of techniques like, okay, let's do it like this. If you think time management is a problem and you can't read, I'm doing another session for all of you on reading techniques, right? So you need to master certain techniques like how to do skimming, scanning, and how to get the gist very quickly. සමහර විට මට හිතෙනවා අමිලගේ point එක නෑ කියලා මං කියන්නේ. මොකද ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ පැත්තෙන් ඒක සමහරට ගොඩක් valid වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් මගේ පැත්තෙන් මං කියන්නේ එක්සැමිනර්ස්ලා පැත්තෙන් මං කියන්නේ සමහර විට ඔයගොල්ලෝ රීඩ් කරන ක්‍රමය වැරදි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. because when I say it's revision rereading, I don't mean word to word. අපි කිසිම වෙලාවක word to word කියවන්නේ. අපි කියවන්න ඕනේ ඒක ස්කිම් කරලා ජිස්ට් එක ගන්න විදිහට තමයි කියවන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් සමහර විට ඕගලන්ගේ රීඩින් ටෙක්නික්ස් දුර්වල නම් ඕගලන්ගේ රයිටින් ස්කිල් එක දුර්වල නම් සමහර විට ඕගලන්ට වෙලාව මදි වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඕක රීඩ් කර කර. But every international exam, since I'm teaching for Cambridge exams, IELTS, I know for a fact that at least 2 to 3 minutes should be spared at the end of your answers to check it. If you say that you don't have enough, most of the time it's a problem with your time management and your strategies of using the language, right? සමහර විට අපි බලමු ඔයගලන්ට සමහර විට අර reading session එකක් මම කරනවානේ and writing session එකක් මම කරනවා. මේ දෙක කරයින් පස්සේ බලන්න සමහර විට මෙන්න මේ කියන time එක ඔයගලන්ට අඩු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So maybe there is an issue like that. And also, I need to tell you that these, your exam papers, like say, at least I know about business communication. I'm sure your technical subjects, the main subject papers are even more advanced. These are usually piloted, right, by the examiners, and there's a team who are working on these question papers. ඉතින් මම දන්න විදිහට නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ පොඩ්ඩක් at least with regards to business communication, I think they do a little bit of piloting. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ නම් කරන්නේ අපි මේ final exam papers අරගෙන පොඩ්ඩක් ඒක ටෙස්ට් කරලා බලනවා කෙනෙක්ට දීලා මේක ලියන්න පුළුවන්ද time management එක කොහොමද කියලා අපි පොඩ්ඩක් බලනවා. I think that is also there, but I will definitely pose your question to pose your problem to the management also. මොකද අපි දෙපැත්තම වග කියන්න ඕනනේ. ඒක නිසා අමිල කියපු දේ ගොඩක් වටිනවා. As a feedback, I will definitely convey your concern to the management, right? අපි බලමු දෙපැත්තම balance වුණොත් සමහරට මේ මං කියන දේ කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ මගේ idea එක න. Right? So that's a good point, Amila, right? Because but ඔයාගේ පැත්තෙනුත් බලන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොමලාගේ පැත්තෙනුත් බලන්න whether it is a problem on your end කියලා. අපේ පැත්තෙන් අපි බලන්නම් මේක communicate කරලා යම්කිසි වෙනසක් කරන්න පුළුවන් වේද ඔයගලන්ට ඉස්සරහට කියලා. Right? Okay, wonderful answers, and I'm very happy that all of you have learned things accurately and you have not misinterpreted what I said, right? So let's jump into some fun parts now. First thing is we are going to talk about parts of speech, right? Now remember I told you when we don't really pay attention to little bits of grammar, we end up writing ambiguous sentences, right? So I saw some of you have commented about ambiguity, so that's very important. So number one reason why we end up writing ambiguous sentences is because we don't have enough knowledge about the parts of speech of English, right? මොනවාද මේ parts of speech කියලා කියන්නේ? ඇයි මේව ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ, right? ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලොකු වැඩිද දැන් මේව ඉගෙන ගන්න? නෑ. Anyone can learn and use parts of speech. So what we mean by parts of speech is that if you take all the words in the English language, you divide these words into subcategories. Right? So these subcategories are called parts of speech. So every language more or less have these parts of speech, right? If you get knowingly or unknowingly, you have already mastered parts of speech. Say Sinhala is your mother tongue or Tamil is your mother tongue, you have already mastered it from your parents, from your environment. හැබැයි ඉංග්‍රීසි එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. මොකද English is introduced relatively later to all of you. එතකොට linguistic theory and research tell us that චූටි කාලේ language එකක් ඉගෙන ගත්ත විදිහට adult කෙනෙක් වුණාම language එකක් ඉගෙන ගන්න බෑ කියන එක. right? So that's a very, very important thing you must understand. And that is exactly why I said there are a lot of myths about learning English. Remember, I told you at CA itself, I've heard people saying, English medium එකේ ඉගෙන ගත්තාම ළමයි ඉබේම ඉංග්‍රීසි improve කරෝ අච්චර මහන්සි වෙන්න එපා, right? ඔය වැරදි අදහස් එන්නේ කොහොමද? Because they don't understand the theoretical side of linguistics and language learning, right? එතකොට මේ දැන් ඔය කියන පුද්ගලයෝ experts ලා වෙන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ subject එකටනේ. නැතුව මගේ subject එකට නෙමෙයි. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන සාමාන්‍ය දැනීම. ඒ සාමාන්‍ය දැනීමෙන් තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ ළමයි ඔක්කොම ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් නේ කරන්නේ. එතකොට ඔය යනකොට හරියයි ඕක. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට linguistic knowledge එක නැති නිසා. So in language learning, the research and theory tells us that first language acquisition and second language acquisition, there are key differences between these two stages here. එතකොට ඒකේ තේරුම සරල තේරුම තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ චූටි කාලේ language එකක් ඉගෙන ගත්ත ක්‍රමවේදය දැන් පාවිච්චි කරොත් ඕගොල්ලන් අවුල් වෙනවා ඒ language එක සම්බන්ධ. So that is exactly what has happened in regards to English language learning in this country in some places, right? So where do you correct yourself? Number one, pay attention to your parts of speech, right? So all languages will have things like nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and things like. Some languages don't have prepositions. උදාහරණයක් විදිහට සිංහල භාෂාවේ prepositions නැත. හරි, එතකොට අපි හිතමු she went, she entered into the room, right? Or she got up from the bed. ඒ වගේ කිව්වොත් අපිට prepositions නැහැ සිංහල භාෂාවේ. Then she got up from the bed කියන එක from කියන preposition එකක් තියෙනවා. නමුත් සිංහලෙන් කොහොමද ඔක කියන්නේ? එයා and then නැගිට්ටා. එතකොට prepositions කියලා වෙනමම කොටාසයක් සිංහල භාෂාවේ නැහැ. ඉතින් මේ ප්‍රශ්න නිසා තමයි ළමයි ගොඩාක් grammatical වැරදි කරන්නේ. මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ අර මං කිව්වා වගේ linguistic theory එක දන්නේ නැති මිනිස්සු ප්‍රමාණයක් ඉඳගෙන ළමයින්ට කියනවා ඕගොල්ලෝ ඔහේ ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට ඉංග්‍රීසි යනකොට improve වෙයි කියලා, right? ඒ වැරදි තොරතුරු නිසා ඕගොල්ලොත් අර පරණ ක්‍රමයට ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්න හදනවා. ඉතින් මේකෙන් ගොඩාක් confusions ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා, right? So don't try to use the methods that you learn the methods that you use to learn your first language to learn English language, because usually English is a second language and there is a different process involved in learning that language, right? Okay, so now we know there are nouns, verbs, pronouns, and etc. And these are called parts of speech. So here is a little activity before I dive into the activity. Can all of you very quickly at least take one of these words and can you tell me the part of speech of these words? Take one word, like say for example, regulatory. So this is a word that you use a lot in your reports, no, business reports. Regulatory, sometimes you say regulators, sometimes you say regularly, sometimes you say regulations, right? Then there ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ ගොඩක් අය මේ වචන දකින්නේ. සමහර අයගේ කිසිම අවධානයක් නැහැ spellings වලට. ඉතින් regulator කියලා ලිව්වත් regulatory කියලා ලිව්වත් ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඔක්කොම එකයි වගේ පේන්නේ. Right? So are you such a person? ඕගොල්ලන් එහෙමද? දැන් සමහර අය මට එවලා තියෙන chat messages දිහා මම බලනකොට මට පේනවා ඒ වගේ වැරදි. Sometimes it can be the typos, right? Because you are typing online. But sometimes I have a feeling these are errors that you make, right? Long-term errors that you make. So just take one word and tell me the part of speech of that word. Any word you like and tell me what it is. Is it a noun? Is it adjective? Tell me the word and then tell me the part of speech. Okay? Shall I give you 1 minute, everyone? So hurry up. Very good. Abhishek, correct answer. Hashini, correct answer. Others, can you quickly send? Regular is not a noun, Mohan. Alisha, correct. Yeah, Shehan, correct. Good. Khasun, correct. Nishant, correct. Yeah, good. Prajeevan, good. Shehan, correct. Right, very good. Keep on sending, everyone. I want you to just take one word and think about the part of speech, right? So why do we need to, while you're sending, I'm just going to talk to you just to save a little time. So why do we have all of these different things, right? Why do we have all these different parts of speech? When you learn parts of speech, what is the benefit you get, right? ඔගොල්ලෝ ඇයි මේ nouns, adjectives, adverbs කියනවා වෙනම ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒවා විශේෂයෙන් ඇයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ. හේතුව තමයි මම කිව්වා English is a second language. You are learning it as adults. So unlike babies who are learning a language, adults need formal rules and syntactic structures to work their brain. Right? ඉතින් එතකොට adult කෙනෙක් වශයෙන් ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ ටික දැනගෙන හිටියොත් මේ ටික හරියට තේරුම් ගත්තොත් noun එකක් කොහොමද adjective එකකින් වෙනස් වෙන්නේ එහෙම කියලා තේරුම් ගත්තොත් what happens is you know exactly where to put each word in a sentence. Because remember, grammar is a system of rules on how to create sentences, either spoken sentences or written sentences. Right, everyone? එතකොට ඇයි මේ nouns, verbs, adjectives, චූටි බබාලට වගේ ආයිත් මතක් කරන්නේ? Because they help you create syntactic structures as adults in your brain. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ වැඩිහිටි එක් වශයෙන් language එකක් ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට මතක තියාගන්න බබාලා වගේ පරිසරයෙන් ඇහෙන දේ මත නෙමෙයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ language එක ඉගෙන ගන්න. ඒ අනුව විතරක් නෙමෙයි. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒක ඉගෙන ගන්න syntactic structures නැත්නම් logical arguments එක්ක, right? logic එකක් එක්ක. ඒක නැති වුනහම තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට English බැරි වෙන්නේ. එතකොට මේවෙන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ noun එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා හරියටම දන්නවනම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා sentence එකේ කොහෙටද noun එක දාන්නේ sentence එකේ කොහෙටද noun එක දාන්න බැරි කියලා. Right? So remember my earlier sentence. I said there was red a dog. ඒ වගේ එකක් නේ මං කිව්වේ. එතකොට එහෙම එකක් English sentence එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. Right? Okay, very good. I think all of you have gotten most answers, or most of the answers are correct. Yeah? Very good. So here, just look at this slide, everyone. I want you to just be very careful with the way you use these words, right? Let's take the first word, access. So access is a word that has a verb form which is the same. Access nang access. Noun එකත් ඒ වගේමයි verb එකත් ඒ වගේමයි. හැබැයි adjective එක තමයි accessible. Adverb එකක් නැහැ ඒකට. ඉතින් මේ වගේ every word has a connected set of parts of speech. So වචනයක් අපි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ අලුතෙන් වචනයක් අපි අලුතෙන් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ ඒකේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අපි දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ ඒකේ අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ part of speech එක මොකක්ද සහ other variations මොනවාද කියලා, right? එතකොට දැන් ගොඩක් අනිත් වැරද්ද තමයි ගොඩක් අය කරන දැන් සමහර අයට ස්පෙලිංස් පේන්නේ දැන් මම ලියන්න යන්නේ, right? access මේ මොකද්ද මම උඩින් ලිව්වේ මේ දෙක එකයිද පළවෙනි වචනේ access මම ලිව්ව වචනේ excess, right? දැන් සමහර අයට මේ දෙකේ වෙනස පේන්නේ හැමෝම වචනේ ස්පෙලිංස් උත් වැරදි, ග්‍රැමර්ත් වැරදි, වචනේ තේරුමත් වැරදි. right? So don't be careless. You need to pay very special attention to small letters and changes in the letters. එතකොට here I have written the word excess, right? Oh my God. Here I have written the word excess, but here the word access. So these are two different words, but don't confuse them. Don't misuse them. One of the famous pairs that you always get confused is this. Right? මෙන්න මේ වචන දෙක ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගොඩාක් අය හැමදාම පටලන වචන. කොච්චර හරි ගැස්සුවත් ගොඩක් අය තාම බෑ මේ වචන දෙක. Right? මෙන්න මේ වචන දෙක තාමත් ගොඩක් අයට බෑ. ඉතින් මේවා හොයලා ඉගෙන ගන්න because these words are very important. And if you confuse them, right? If you confuse them in your report writing, email writing, that creates a very ambiguous sentence, right? So affect versus effect, access versus excess. මේවා ප්‍රොනවුන්ස් කරන්නෙත් වෙනස් විදිහට ලියන්නෙත් වෙනස් විදිහට ගොඩක් අයට වචනවල ස්පෙලිංස් පේන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙම වුණාම ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න එනවා මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්නෙත් වැරදි දේවල් නිසා. Right? So are there any questions up to now, everyone? Are you all clear? Do you want to ask me any questions? Okay, let's jump in. If you do have questions, I want you to send me your questions, right? If you do have problems, issues, send me what those are, and then we will work on that. Okay, so the next activity is we are going to learn about these word classes, open and closed word classes. I want you to watch the video, and I'm giving you a very quick task to do after the video. Tell me which categories fall under open word class and which categories fall under closed word class. Okay, what are we talking about, everyone? We are talking about parts of speech. So watch the video, and the lady in the video will explain to you which categories are considered open word classes or open parts of speech, and which categories out of this list is considered closed word class or closed parts of speech, right? Are you clear on the activity, everyone? Any issues? So I'm going to cancel the slide now, and I will play the video for all of you. Please let me know if there is an issue in audio quality or anything. Okay, can all of you see the video? If not, let me know. I'm going to play it. If you have a problem, let me
Let's
know.
look at different word classes, focusing on open classes and closed classes. And let's start with some examples. So a typical word class is a noun. House is a very typical example of this word class. It's a thing or sometimes a concept. Speak is a very typical verb. Verbs express things like actions or events. We've got an adjective here, nice. Adjectives are usually descriptions of something and they describe a noun. So a nice house, nice describes house in a little bit more detail. And then we've got something like angrily. Angrily is an adverb and it's a description of a verb. And here we can say something like he spoke angrily, where angrily tells us something about the way in which he was speaking. Now, these are open classes. These are the big classes that we call open classes. They contain nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, and sometimes other classes depending on who you talk to. But the features of open classes are the following. The elements, the words in these classes have lexical meaning. They express something, they mean something. And new words can be added very, very easily. So we can coin new words, we can borrow new words from other languages, we can form new words, for example, by putting two words together to form a new noun, a new verb, etc. So these are the features of open classes. Let's come to the other type, closed classes. These are the so-called smaller classes, smaller in the sense of they contain fewer words, but usually these words are very, very frequent. So when we look at texts, they appear a lot, but there are only a certain number of these words that appear. And these contain word classes such as articles, pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, discourse markers. And again, depending on who you talk to, they might call these word classes different things, and they might include different types of word classes in closed classes. Right, the features of these are they fulfill generally a grammatical function, and it's much more difficult for new words to enter these classes. So you can't just make up a new preposition. I mean, new prepositions appear, but it's much more difficult for new prepositions to appear than for new nouns to be formed. Okay, let's have a look at some examples of the closed classes. So in the house, in is a preposition. It positions something within something else. You and I is a conjunction, a so-called coordinating conjunction, which puts you and I together the same level. And then we've also got other types of conjunctions, so-called subordinating conjunctions. If is a very nice example of this. If you go, I'll do something, okay? Then we have articles, definite articles like the in the house. And we have pronouns, again coming back to you and I. You and I are personal pronouns. We've got lots of other pronouns, for example, interrogative pronouns, pronouns used for questioning something. Who is a very good example of this. And then there are all these other elements, sometimes called particles or discourse markers. And they're things like, well, I thought, I was like, and so on. So those are all these little elements that appear as we speak, but that kind of structure our discourse and have a function in that way. Right, so summary, open classes are those to which we can add new elements very easily, and they usually consist of nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. These elements that appear in open word classes have lexical meaning. And closed word classes are much more grammatical. They are much more difficult to add new elements to. And the word classes that we consider under this heading are usually prepositions, conjunctions, articles, pronouns, and discourse markers. And that's it. Thanks for listening.
Okay, so I hope all of you watched the video carefully. Can you all remember the question I asked you? I said, tell me the open word categories and the closed word categories. So all of you can use your chat function, but I'm going to call up some people's names and I'm going to ask them to tell me some examples. Okay, so let me stop sharing the video and go back to your slides first. Right, so here are the parts of speech. I just want you to tell me if you have watched the video carefully. I just want you to tell me what are open word classes and what are the closed word classes. Very good. Rikaz has already sent an example. Shama has sent an example. Oh, wow, very good. Amal has sent a long example. Very quick, Amal, right? Good job. So let me ask someone, right? Just very quickly. I'll ask a different question. Can we ask? Pujani. Pujani, are you there? Pujani, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you tell me? So I'm showing you the parts of speech, but can you tell me why some of these are called open word classes, Pujani? What is the reason? Like, say, for example, the teacher said nouns are an open word class. No? Can you tell me the reason why they are called open classes?
Sorry, ma'am. I can't clearly understand.
Okay, right? That's okay. That's okay. I really appreciate that you told me at least you don't understand, right? So that's all right. Let's ask somebody else, Pujani, but listen carefully and make a note of that, right? So if you are up, අපි වැරදි වෙනවා නම් grammar වල ඔය වගේ පොඩි දේවල් confusion තිබ්බොත් තමයි වරදින්නේ. ඒතර ඔයා අද ඒක හදාගත්තොත් ඔයා හොඳට මේක English හොඳට grammar improve කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So we will ask another person. Do we have Sudarshana? Sudarshana, are you there? Sudarshana, are you there? Sudarshana seems to be not there. Okay, we'll ask another person. Nadun, Nadun, are you there? Nadun Dakshina. Nadun, are you there? Okay, no one seems to be there. None of the people I called are there. එතකොට දැන් මෙන්න මේ වගේ අය නිසා තමයි හැමදාම වැරදි දිගට යන්නේ. Because they just join a session ඊට පස්සේ නෑ එතන. මොනවා උගන්වනවද මොනවා ඉගෙන ගන්නවද මොනවාට ආවද කියලා කාටවත් හිතා ගන්න බෑ. Right? So why bother everyone? Right? Don't join. Unless it's a technical issue, I don't understand why these people are not responding. ඔගොල්ලෝ session එකට join වෙනවා නම් කරුණාකරලා වගකීම බාර ගන්න හරියට එකේ ඉන්න නේ. එතකොට අර නැත්තම් මේ join වෙලා ඉන්න අනිත් ළමයින්ටත් ඒක හරිම අසාධාරණයි. So you'll just joining in and then there's no answers or nothing given, right? Okay, let's come back to my question. Then I'll give any of you someone the chance to volunteer. Okay, can someone use your microphone? Anyone who prefers, right? Can you use your microphone and tell me why certain classes are called open classes? What did the lady tell you?
Easily can add
Very good. Easily can add what?
elements. So
Very good. එහෙනම් මොකද්ද මේකේ ඇත්තටම තේරුම? Open word classes. Very good. What's your name?
I'm Vishaka Adiheti.
Vishaka. Thank you very much, Vishaka. So as Vishaka also said, අපි මේ open word classes කියන්නේ හරිම වැදගත් කොටසක් ඕනම භාෂාවක. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ open word class එක හරියට ඉගෙන ගත්තේ නැත්නම් ඔයගලන්ට මොකක්ද වෙන පාඩුව කියලා මේ ටීචර් කියලා දුන්නානේ වීඩියෝ එකේ. So ප්‍රධානම පාඩුව තමයි ඔයගලන්ට meaning එක express කරගන්න බැරි වෙනවා because open word class category has new words coming into that every day. So if you take English that was used by Shakespeare, then කවුද මේ Shakespeare කියන්නේ IMF එකේ ලොක්ක නෙමෙයි. Right? වර්ධවා වටහා ගන්න එපා. ෂේක්ස්පියර් කියලා කියන්නේ එංගලන්තේ හිටිය පොයට් කෙනෙක්. එයාගෙන් තමයි මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාව ගොඩක් දුරට මොඩර්නයිස් වුණේ right ඉතින් එයාගේ ඉංග්‍රීසි බැලුවොත් එහෙම අර දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ සිංහල දන්නවනේ සිංහල දැන් අපි අද කතා කරන සිංහලද එදා කතා කරේ උදාහරණයක් විදිහට උමංග ජාතකයේ බලන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ අරන් නැත්තම් කියවලා බලන්න මම කියවලා තියෙනවා right මම කියවලා තියෙනවා ඉතින් ඒක නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඔයගලන් සිංහල මේ මදර් ටං එක නම් තියෙන්නේ ඔයගලන්ගේ ලැන්ග්වේජ් එක ගැන ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ ඔයගලන් ටැමිල් නම් ඔයගලන්ගේ පරණ ටැමිල් ටෙක්ස්ට් කොච්චර තියෙනවද පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න එතකොට ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙනවා කොහොමද භාෂාවක් වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් open word class කියන කැටගරි එකෙන් තමයි ඕනම භාෂාවක් මොඩර්නයිස් වෙන්නේ. and අර ඔයගොල්ලෝ නිකන් රෙකෝඩ් එක වගේ කියන දෙයක් තියෙනවනේ. English is an international language. කාගෙන් ඇහුවත් ওই sentence එක කියනවනේ. හේතුව එහෙනම් why is English an international language? Because it has a huge open word class category. Right? And compared to Sinhala and Tamil, English open word class is enormous. Right? So that's why we say that English is an international language because in English you have nouns, adjectives, adverbs coming into the English language almost every day. Right? Several years back, a new word was created. ගොඩක් තියෙනවා ඉතින් වචන මට දැන් එක පාට වර මතක් වෙන්නේ weird වචනයක් මේ man spreading කියලා වචනයක් Oxford dictionary එකට දැම්මා man spreading කවුද දන්නේ man spreading කියන වචනේ උත්තරේ මේ තේරුම is there anyone who knows about it man spreading එක වචනයක් man spreading it's a new word that came into the English language anyone who knows Okay, how many of you travel by bus? Especially ladies, right? How many of you travel by bus? Right? So, if you travel by bus and if you're a lady, you definitely have experienced manspreading. Manspreading is the way a man sits on a public transport. Right? ඉතින් බලන්න කොච්චර ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිංද මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකනේ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොඩ්ඩක් ඉංග්‍රීසි කියවන්න. එතකොට ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙනවා ඇයි මේ අපි අර රෙකෝඩ් එක වගේ English is an international language කියලා රෙකෝඩ් එක වගේ කිව්වට වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒකේ ඇත්ත තේරුම දන්නේ කී දෙනාද? Right? So man spreading කියන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලට ආපු අලුත්ම වචනයක්. ඒක noun එකක්. එතකොට ඒකේ තේරුම තමයි how a man sits on a public transport. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පිරිමි අය ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා ඇති බස් එකක එහෙම යනකොට වාඩි වෙනවනේ ක්‍රමයකට. එතන මොකද වෙන්නේ? බස් එකේ සීට් එක තියෙනවා. සීට් එකෙන් 75ක් කෙට්ටු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නේද? මහත නැතුව ඇති අපි වගේ. ඒක කෙට්ටුයි. හැබැයි මේ සීට් එකෙන් 75ක් යාල්ලගෙන. අන්න ඒකට තමයි man spreading කියන්නේ. Right? So see how interesting the English language is. You can learn a lot about what is happening in the world and very fun facts, right? So again, let me repeat to you what this video teaches you. Open word class. If you take all the words in the English language, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs are called the open class category. Why are these called open class? Number one, because this category can add more and more new items each day, each year. Right? That's why English becomes a very international subject. Number two, these categories are the main categories we use to express the meaning of your ideas. So let's look at closed categories. Pronouns, right? Prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, and articles are considered the closed category. Why are these called the closed category? Because they do not add new items every day, right? They are a set group. So if you compare Shakespeare's English right? There's very little difference that you can notice in terms of prepositions, conjunctions, articles. Shakespeare ge කාලේ තිබ්බ articles ටිකම තමයි තවමත් ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාවේ තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට නමුත් open word category එකක් විදිහට ගත්තාම nouns කියන දේ ෂේක්ස්පියර් පාවිච්චි කරපු nouns වලට ගොඩාක් වෙනස්. අද අපි වර්තමානයේ පාවිච්චි කරන modern English nouns, right? So දැන් මං හිතනවා ඔයගලන්ට මේක තේරෙන්නේ නැති කියලා. එහෙනම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට වැඩිපුර attention එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ කොයි පැත්තටද? open word classes. ඒකෙන් කිසිම වෙලාවක කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ close word classes ඉගෙන ගන්න එපා කියලා. Why? Because the second reason why close word classes like prepositions, conjunctions, interjections are important is that they carry grammatical function. එතකොට open word class එකෙන් මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? meaning එක තේරුම express කිරීම. close word class එකෙන් මොනවද කරන්නේ? අපේ grammatical function එක express කරනවා. So උදාහරණයක් විදියට she got up from the bed, right? It's not she got up on the bed. දැන් ඒකේ අදහස් දෙකක් නේ. ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙනවද? So if I write the sentence she got up from the bed කියන්නේ එක තේරුම. But she got up on the bed කිව්වා. ඒ කියන්නේ වෙන දෙයක්. එහෙනම් she got up from the bed කියන්නේ ඇඳෙන් නැගිට්ටා, but she got up on the bed කියලා කියන්නේ එයා ඇඳට නැග්ගා. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඇඳ උඩ ඉන්න ගමන් ඇහැරුවා. බලන්න කොච්චර වෙනස්ද එක චූටි preposition එකක් වෙනස් කරපු නිසා. So you need to pay attention to close words classes and open word classes. Okay, let's do something fun, and we are coming a little closer. Although I have a few more activities lined up, we are coming closer to the final part of our discussion, right? So we are going to play an online game, everyone, now. Okay, and I want you to do something with me. And දැන් මේක කරාම අපිට හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් ඇත්තටම කීයෙන් කී දෙනෙක් online මේ වෙනකොට ඉන්නවද කියලා. Okay, so let me share this with you. Give me a second. Okay, it will take a minute. Just give me a second, everyone. And I just want you to, while you are waiting, I want you to process the information you learned. Now, you have learned a lot today, right? And also remember, this is about your second language. English is your second language, right? It's not your mother tongue. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ වඩාත් පරිස්සම් වෙන්න ඕනේ English භාෂාව එක්ක මේ ගැන හිතනකොට. Okay, I'm going to cut my camera because I think I'm getting stuck because of the camera. But I'm going to share this activity with you. Okay, everyone, I think it's getting a little slow because probably we are using a lot of data bandwidth now. So let's do something from your exam, right? I don't want all of you to do the full thing, but I want you to at least send me answers to the first 3 blanks here. Until the thing comes, let's see if it loads. And until that time, I want you to give it a try. Just tell me what are the different parts of speech you will use in blank 1 to 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can send answers in the chat. Right, very good. I can see some answers coming in. Everyone try to do 1 to 3, okay? 1 to 3, because these are about different types of parts of speech, and also try to check whether your answer makes sense in the blank, right? If the blank එක complete කරාම ඒකේ යම්කිසි තේරුමක් එන්න ඕනේ. So check whether you are creating an ambiguous sentence or are you creating a clear sentence. ඒකත් check කරන්න blanks බැලුවෙන් පස්සේ. I don't know why this is not loading. A few minutes ago it was there, but now it's not. Right, so everyone please keep on sending your answers. I need answers to the first 3, right? Okay, everyone, I think it's refusing to load, right? So we'll just forget about it. But let's move on, right? So we have plenty of other stuff to do. Let's move on to the last bit, as I told you. So the final part we will talk about. Now you know the parts of speech. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the answers, right? Okay, let's look at the first three, and then you can check your answers, right? The number of accidents in expressways has been increasing over the past 3 years, even though the authorities have provided. Now, authorities, what is the part of speech? Authorities is the noun there, because you can see that there is a verb after it, have provided. So if you see a verb, what we need to put before a verb is a noun, right? So authorities have provided several safety precautions. Over 2,000 accidents have been reported during the last 3 years. In the meantime, legal action has been taken against, right? So why is it legal? Legal is the adjective. How do we know we need to put an adjective there? Because there is a noun that comes after it. So after the blank, the noun action is there. එහෙනම් action කියන වචනේ blank 2 වලට පස්සේ තියෙන action කියන වචනේ නිසා අපි දන්නවා action කියන වචනෙට ඉස්සරහට දාන්න පුළුවන් adjective එකක් විතරමයි කියලා. right? එතකොට මෙතනින් adjective එක වෙන්නේ legal කියන දේ. එතකොට legal action කියන විදිහට තමයි බලන්න. right? ඉතින් මේ වගේ දේවල් ගොඩක් වරද්ද ගන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ සමහර exams කරනකොට 355 drivers who violated traffic regulations on the Southern Expressway. දැන් එතනත් මොකක්ද? එතනදී අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නාමපදයක්. අපි කොහොමද දන්නේ නාමපදයක් කියලා? මොකද traffic කියලා adjective එකක් තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් adjective එකකට පස්සේ එන්න පුළුවන් නාමපද. ඉතින් so what I want you to understand is every word has its place in English, because I don't know how many of you remember what I said. English is called a fixed word order language. එතකොට ඒකේ තේරුම තමයි ඕනම ඉංග්‍රීසි sentence එකක් ගත්තාම ඒකේ වචන දාන්න ඕන අදාළම තැනක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට unlike in Sinhala, which I told you is a flexible word order. සිංහල භාෂාව කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? එතකොට everyone සිංහල කියලා කියන්නේ flexible word order කියන එක තියෙන දෙයක්. එතකොට flexible word order කියන්නේ ඕනම වචනයක් අපි sentence එකක ඕන තැනකට දාන්න පුළුවන් සිංහලෙන්. නමුත් English වලින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒක කරොත් එහෙම ඔයගොල්ලෝ grammar rules violate කරනවා, right? So these are the 3 answers, and I see that most of you have gotten the 3 answers correct. එක්කෙනෙක් දෙන්නෙක් වරද්ද ගත්ත අය ඉන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේක තව හොඳට study කරන්න ඕනේ. What are the parts of speech කියලා උපරිමයෙන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. noun එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඒක කොහෙටද දාන්නේ sentence එකේ? ඒක දාන්න බැරි තැන් මොකද්ද sentence එකක? adverb එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඒක කොහෙටද sentence එකේ දාන්නේ? ඒක දාන්න බැරි තැන් මොනවාද? මේ විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ parts of speech ඔක්කොම අධ්‍යයනය කරන්න ඕනේ, right? So I will be giving you some additional resources. කරන්න ඒවා නිකන් ඉන්න වෙලාවට නිතරම පුරුදු වෙන්න මේවා practice කරන්න, right? I will tell you what to use for your self studies at the end of the session, right? So now let's move on to passive and active voice, and I'm going to finish my session after doing a few activities. I hope it will work. Then make a third that. Right? So anyway, active and passive voice. Then අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා කතා කරේ parts of speech. So we were talking about all the words in the English language. Now we are not talking about individual word categories. Now we are talking about entire sentences. So what is meant by passive voice? What is meant by active voice? Passive voice emphasizes who or what is receiving the action rather than who or what is doing the action, right? So decide where the emphasis should be on the actor or the receiver. So sometimes when you speak, when you write, sometimes the actor or the person or thing that is doing the action is important. Sometimes it's not important, but the action is important. Like say, for example, say you're talking about how to make tea, you have to explain to your foreign friend how you make a cup of Sri Lankan tea, right? So when you are doing that, you can say that sugar has to be added to your teacup, right? It's not that important that you say, I have to add sugar into the teacup, because adding sugar is the important thing. So decide where the emphasis should be. එතකොට ඒ කියන්නේ මේ active voice, passive voice කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Active කියලා කියන්නේ නිතරම ක්‍රියාව කරන්නා මූලික කරනවා. Passive කියලා කියන්නේ ක්‍රියාවට භාජනය වෙන්නා මූලික කරනවා. ඒතර ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතන්න ඕනේ. ඕගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා හිතන්න ඕනේ මට මොකද්ද මේ දෙකෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? Do I want to make the action stronger or do I want to make the person stronger? Right? So here are some rules. I hope this will be useful to you. Take a screenshot, because I think you will, if you know how to take a screenshot, because this slide might help you to get the grammar between active and passive very, very correctly, right? ගොඩක් අයට බැරි මෙන්න මේ විවිධ විදිහට passive එක ගන්න එක. එතකොට so in active voice, simple present tense, if you say they take photos, passive voice එක the photos are taken by them කියන එක ඇත්තට වැඩක් නැති නිසා අපි ඒක ලියන්නේ, right? So if you move to past simple, that they took photos, and the passive becomes the photos were taken. අතන කිව්වේ are taken, then were taken. Right? ඉතින් අද අපිට වෙලාව නැති නිසා මට මේක ගැන තව ගොඩක් දේවල් කියන්න තියෙනවා. අපේ ළමයි කොහොමද විශේෂ passive voice එකක් හදාගෙන තියෙනවා ශ්‍රී ලංකන්ස්ලා විදිහට. අපිටම ආවේනික මේ අර කොත්තු වගේ අපිටම ආවේනික passive voice එකක් තියෙනවා. අද කතා කරන්න වෙලා නැහැ ඒක ගැන. We will talk about that in some other session, right? And then we move to the future tense, right? So if we move to the future, they will take photos, and passive will be the photos will be taken. දැන් බලන්න මේ වෙනස ගොඩක් අයට ඇහෙන්නේ, right? ඔය ඔක්කොම එකයි මිස් මොකක්ද ඔකේ වෙනස කියලා හිතයි, right? එහෙම නෑ. මේ හැම එකක්ම එකිනෙකට ගොඩක් වෙනස් අර්ථය වශයෙන් සහ grammar වශයෙන්. The photos are taken, the photos were taken, the photos will be taken, right? So මේ වගේ ඔයගලන්ට එක ගානේ හිමීට මේ ටික කරන්න වෙනවා, right? So let's try to do the first three again. I want all of you to give it a try. The verb is in brackets, and I want you to tell me, I want you to convert these sentences into passive voice sentences. Penicillin, do you want me to do the first one? Or can you handle? Let's see. Okay, do the first three and send me your answers, then we will check. Very good. Shehan sent the first answer. Good job. Everyone, give it a try. Try to do the first three. Just send me the verb. I don't need you to write the whole sentence. Just put 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm always making work easy for you, right? I know you all are tired, so I won't tax you. So just send me the words. වචන විතරක් ඇති. Okay, very good. I like, yeah. Very good, Abhishek, very good. Adiheti, very good. Vishaka, very good. Was which one are you saying? One. No, Mafaz. Try to think about it. First answer. If you say discovered, then that is wrong grammar. Okay? Because I asked you to convert it into passive voice. So if you put discovered, then number one, it's wrong. Then number two, you are using simple past tense active voice. I said past tense passive voice, not active voice. Right? So you need to practice this. You need to think and get your head around this. එතකොට එක දවසින් මේ දේ කරන්න බෑ. You can't do this overnight. Everyone must understand your grammar has to exponentially improve. Neither. So next time I meet all of you, right? Next, maybe in your next year or whatever, I want you to tell me, Miss, I made a good improvement in my grammar after your session, right? I don't want you to I don't want myself to notice people at the same level, right? So I want you to develop this after I finish the session also every day, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Dedicate for your reading, dedicate for your writing. If you are truly interested in having a successful career, becoming loved by people, right? Getting respect from people around you, you need to do this. right? අර සල්ලි හොයන්න මහන්සි වෙනවා වගේම තමන්ගේ ඉමේජ් එක හදාගන්නත් මහන්සි වෙන්න ඕනේ නේ. එතකොට ඕගලන් ඉමේජ් එක හදන්න බෑනේ ඕගලන්ගේ ඉංග්‍රීසි දුර්වල නම්. අපි මොනවා කිව්වත් සාධාරණ හෝ අසාධාරණ. Right? So I want everyone to participate, do the activities with me. Ah, very good. Shehan has done all 10. Excellent job, right? Right, very good. Mafaz has got the third one correct. Mafaz, I want you to look at your first answer and correct that also, right? Okay, let's look at it, everyone. Penicillin was discovered, right? Was discovered. ඇයි මෙන්න මෙතනට ගිහිල්ලා මේක check කරලා බලන්න. Right? Penicillin was discovered. අපිට ඒක කියන්න බෑනේ penicillin are discovered කියලා. Neither, because it's in the past. It's a past event, but in passive voice. Past event can happen in active voice. Past events can happen in passive voice as well. Right? Okay, so the next one is statements. Statements, yeah, are taken. Statements, ඇයි එහෙම මං කිව්වේ are taken කියලා? Statements are taken from all the witnesses at this moment. Right? එතකොට ඔන්න ඒකේ අපිට තියෙනවා විශේෂණ පදයක් modifier එකක් at this moment. So we can't say statements were taken. මේ sentence එකේ අන්තිම කොටස තිබ්බේ නැත්නම් were taken කියන එක හරි. නමුත් මේ sentence එකේ තියෙනවා at this moment. So if you see that and it's referring to the present moment, means that statements are taken from all the witnesses at this moment. Number 3, whales must be protected by an international ban on whaling. So very good. I think everyone has fairly done this. Podi වැරදි තියෙනවා සමහර අයගේ, but all of you need to check now. Then passive active, do you have a confusion? Right? එහෙනම් මම මේ කියලා දෙන එක විතරක් මදි. You need to do some more activities to correct your mistakes, right? ඔළුවේ තියෙන confusion එක නැති කරගන්න ඔයගොල්ලන් මේක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කරන්නම ඕනේ. Right? So I'm going to finalize. Unfortunately, mage games එකක්වත් දැන් වැඩ කරන්නේ. I don't know why. It's stuck, right? So Ekanisa. Yes, it's there. Okay, we are lucky. So let's finally finish with a very interesting game, right? Maybe we will not be able to fully play the game, but I want you to help me out, everyone. Okay, so let me share my browser with all of you, and we are going to finish our session with a very fun activity. I'll send the link so that you can play. Okay. Okay, now let me send it now itself. No. You have to anyway to log into this, right? Okay. I'm going to share browser. Can you see the contents, everyone? Can someone let me know quickly? Can you see what I'm sharing? Okay, thanks, Roshan. Right, so I'm going to start with you, but I'll send you, yeah, I'm going to send you. I can assign it for individual work also, but let's do it as a group, okay? I'm going to start the game. Okay, so let me ask a few of you to help me out, right? I hope all of you are there still, right? Let's ask, I know Abhishek is there. Abhishek, can you tell me a number quickly?
3, ma'am.
3. Okay, so let's try. What is the answer, Abhishek? Is this sentence passive or active?
Active.
Okay, let's see. Yes, very good. Right. So let's go to another person. Let's ask. Kasun was there, no, earlier. Hope Kasun is here. Kasun, are you there?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, give me a number, Kasun, quickly.
9.
9. Okay, let's see Kasun's question. Okay, what is this, Kasun? Passive or active?
Passive voice.
Okay, let's see. Right, wonderful job. Let's quickly jump to another person. Do we have, like, these new people might not be here, but anyway, let me try. So, Dulanjali, are you here? I remember you were there. Dulanjali? No, seems like she's not there. Hashini was there, no? So, Hashini, can you tell me a number quickly? Hashini, I didn't hear you. Can't hear you, Hashini. Can you chat, send it on chat? Because your line is not clear. Tell me a number. 7. Okay. Hashini, tell me the answer also in the chat. Okay. 7. This is Hashini's question. What is the answer, Hashini? Is it passive or active? Okay. Somebody else who's online? Okay. She said passive. Very good. Let's see. Yes. Very good. Okay. One last person and then we are done for the day. I will call upon Amila, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Amila, tell me a number quickly.
1.
1. Okay, let's go. Is it passive or active?
Effective.
Okay, let's see. Wonderful, very good job, right? So unfortunately we are out of time, and it was fun. I'll send this. I think you have to log in through, like, let me see, right? I'll send this through Augusta, so that you can practice your passive sentences when you have enough time with the game. So I want to finish off with this one, right? So here I have done this session for the Royal College A-level, and I think this seminar is going to help you a lot. If there is anyone who is having problems with your basic grammar and answering closed questions and all that, the recording is available, everyone, right? So just have a look at it, go to the recording, and I'm going to send you the URL now, right? In your chat, I'm going to type. Okay, there's the URL. Yeah, it's there. So let me send it on the chat, and I'll send it through Augusta also. Can you check whether it's there for you? I just sent it. I don't know if it is delivered or not. Now it's delivered. Okay, is it there in the chat, the URL for the video? Can someone let me know? Can you check your chat? I have sent the yes, thanks, Roshan and Tenuka. Yeah, so just go there if you want, right? It's an additional resource and very useful. I think I got, like, we had about 200, close to 250 students that day, right? So this is obviously targeting A levels, but I'm talking to the students about closed passages, how to do a little bit of, grammatical checking, and how to find the correct part of speech and all of that. And the best thing about the Royal College project was that I have also developed a online resource book for this session. So as you, okay, let me share that here on the slides, you will see. So you can download a free copy. It's not a very big one, but it actually gives you an overview of some of the key critical grammar points, right? So here you will see this is the e-resource book that I created for the school students, right? So this book will help you. You can download a free copy, I think, or access it. I think you can download, yeah. So you can just go to the video. It's available on YouTube, and when you click on the description of the video, you will get a link to the free copy of the e-resource, right? So I hope all of you will benefit from this session, and you will brush up your grammar knowledge. Any confusions that you have, you can further reduce by watching the video and also going through the e-resource book. Apart from these two, I'm going to text you or chat in the chat. I'm just going to mention two other resources that are extremely interesting. The first one is a mobile app, right? Mobile, if you really like mobile apps, you can download this, right? And just type, okay, I don't have my phone, but just type BBC English, I think, yeah, English, or just type learn English, right? So this is, you can download this app from the Google App Store. No, not Google App Store, Play Store for Android. And if you don't like the mobile application, you can go to the BBC News website. And while you are reading those, there is a separate page called BBC Learn English. So that is also an excellent resource for you to practice your speaking skills, writing skills, grammar skills. But I think more than the website, this mobile app is really superb because they give you business English. Some sections you have to buy, but I think just free sections, you just do it, right? And these two things, my seminar, my resource book, plus the BBC app and the website, these two types of stuff is surely enough for all of you to have a little fun and also to improve yourself every day for about 5 to 10 minutes, right? You don't need to watch the seminar I did the whole 2 hours at a stretch. Just break it down into smaller parts, right? Today, if you watch 5 minutes, next day you watch another 5 minutes. Because you can't process a 2.5 hours seminar in one go. එහෙම උත්සාහ කරන්න එපා මේ මගේ seminar එක පුංචි කෑලි බලන්න පුළුවන් අය. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔෆිස් යන වෙලාවට transport එකේ ඉන්නවා නම් transport එකේ ඉඳලා පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න. ඒක අමාරු නම් e-resource book එක download කරගෙන ඒකේ තියෙනවා පොඩ්ඩක් 3-4 පාරක් කියවන්න. ගොඩක් කියවන්න. right? ගොඩාක් සැරයක් කියවන්න. එතකොට තමයි ඒක ඔළුවට යන්නේ. So එක sections වල මම explain කරලා තියෙනවා adjective මොනවාද, adverbs මොනවාද. තව resources ඒ පොතේ ඇතුලේ තියලා තියෙනවා. ඒ දෙක කම්මැලි නම් කරන්න you can download the mobile app, right? BBC Learn English, and then you can practice ekanam superb exaka. So just 5 minutes every day, you can learn vocabulary, practice grammar, learn business English, right? So do something, everyone, that makes you happy and that really gives you a chance to use good grammar. Right? Okay, so I think that's the end of today's session. I have taken a little time, right? And I'm sorry about it, but I hope you enjoyed the session and I hope you benefited because I put in a lot of extra work on the session just to show you that grammar is something important for your careers and that it is there are a lot of myths surrounding grammar learning in the Sri Lankan context, right? So I just wanted to make sure that you all enjoy, have fun, but also become aware of the beauty of English grammar and why it is important to all of you. Right, so that's the end, everyone. Thank you very much for joining in. And I will see you probably on the 3rd, because on the 3rd we have I think reading skills, or is it writing skills? I'm not very sure, but one of those sessions, right? I will be doing one session on writing techniques, and on the 7th I'll be doing something on reading techniques. So I hope if you have enjoyed this and benefited, join those as well. And I hope we can have more fun and also a lot of education about it, right? So please do share your comments and feedback and let me know what you enjoyed, what you liked or what you disliked about today's session. And I hope to see all of you using good grammar and good communication in all of your work in the future, right? So thank you very much, everyone. And also, oh my gosh, I forgot. I really appreciate all of you being actively here. And it was wonderful to get your support in a lot of these activities. It was nice to see all of you being active and not falling asleep and helping me out with the answers, right? So thank you very much for being a good bunch of people and having fun today, right? Basically. So thank you very much. And I will see you soon, everyone. Take care. Bye.